Welcome to Candleside Gaslighting, where lying is encouraged and the truth is confusing. I'm your host, Shakota Woolsey, and I'm here to detect any lie that could be told to me. Today, I will be listening and questioning 3 different stories, 2 real and 1 fake. Then, I will use detective skills to discover the lie. So, light your favorite candle and join us by the candleside for a journey of fact and fiction. Hey guys, so today's episode will be more like how it'll be when we start releasing an episode weekly in our group format. Today we didn't take any stories from the Google form. The stories are directly from my roommates and co-founders of Foresight Films. We will still have our Google form linked for future episodes. If you haven't given us a story yet, or if you would like to send one in or send in another one, these stories can be completely anonymous, so you can do that if you want to. We won't be using that form that often, but we are leaving it up for like special episodes and stuff for the podcast, so we still encourage you to go ahead and put in a story if you have one. So today I will actually be listening to the stories that my roommates have and actively trying to figure out who is gaslighting me. So here today with me is Josh, Kyle, Jerry, and I would say Dane's running the camera, but he fell asleep behind us, so he's not running the camera. He's asleep. Yeah, normally that would be Jerry, but today that is Dane. So we have our Bath and Body Works candle here lit. It's the Vibe. It's here to, not sponsored. It's here to cover up any smells as well. Kyle did eat Taco Bell not that long ago.
What flavor?
I think it's raspberry.
Raspberries and whipped vanilla.
Flavor of the day.
Yeah,
so if you want to be just like your favorite podcast group, no one else, I'm sure, raspberry and vanilla.
Yes.
Whipped vanilla.
Whipped, sorry.
Yeah, so now that we actually have everything ready, I think we should go ahead and go with our first story. So who wants to go first?
Sure.
Jerry wants to go first. Okay.
It's very mid. Unlike me usually, I'm very poggers, but this one could be better, could be worse. For this story, I'm gonna go with a long time ago when I perhaps was a child. That's usually what happens in the past. You're a kid. When I was a kid, I was, I think I was a good kid, but overall,
I doubt it.
I was a good kid up here. I was pretty smart, got all A's. People didn't like me, though. I was a nerd. I played Minecraft all day. But one of the times I finally got out of the house, I was enjoying a very peaceful day, but it turned out to be, like, one of the worst days of my life, like, as a kid. Just because of these circumstances that, happened. Now it's kind of funny, but back then, little Jerry, Jeremiah back then, didn't have the best time. So I'm going to go with, it was like 1 p.m., 1:30, I don't know. Sun is shining. The birds are chirping. It's like July 17th or something,
Why would you know the exact date?
I made that up, dude. I don't know. I can't be that specific.
Gaslighting.
Yep, I lied. It's the wrong day. Sometime in the summertime when I was like 11 or 12, 10, I was a kid, obviously. I went outside. I was like, I'm gonna be like those guys on the TV that like breathe air and touch grass. So
that's what guys on TV did back in the day.
Yeah,
they touched grass.
Yeah. Like actually, I was inspired by this. This one's a little bit off, but I remember like I think it was Saturday. My brain was still programmed to wake up at like 4:30 with my nurse mom, and there was always this like late night, early morning like orangutan family show. And they'd always, like, play in the grass, and that inspired me as, like, an 8-9-year-old to just, like, fucking start tearing up turf and stuff. That was, like, one of the only things I did outside. My mom hated me for it. Either way, I was going outside to do that, probably. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to do the thing that I was always told not to. And I'm going to go to the sandbox. And it's one of those, like, turtle sandboxes that every fucking kid had for some reason.
The cool ones, yeah.
It was, like, had the logo. I don't even know.
You were
it was
only
a turtle.
cool if you had the turtle.
I wasn't cool. I just had the turtle. And you put the lid on it, and it's all like snug as a bug. But there was always like cat shit and stuff in it, and it was awful. And it was like literally poopy. But I was like, you know what? I gotta test my luck today. My mom's not watching my back, so I went to go I crawl over to it, or I don't crawl. I couldn't fucking walk. I walked over to it, and I opened the lid, And I was like, okay, yeah, that's some, like, twigs, some, like, cat shit. And it was, like, a dead rabbit, like, right there. And I was like... Is a little, like, 11-year-old. But then also my little 11-year-old brain hadn't, like, seen something die yet. And so I was like, fuck, I gotta tell my mom about this. I'm so sorry. Did I kill this? And I was, like, really traumatized. So I grabbed this rabbit, like, with my 2 hands. And I'm like...
did not
and I'm
grab
like,
the rabbit. So you just carry the rabbit inside like you're a cat, bringing your human a
and I'm, like,
present.
crying. I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry. What'd I do? And she's like, no, it's fucking disgusting. And, like, wats it out in my hand and, like, fucking grabs it in the trash and is like, fucking...
That's honestly some shit your mom would do.
grabbing some fucking... Calls me, like, dumbass and says, that's why we don't play in the fucking... Like, the cat shit in it and stuff dies in it, you see? I don't know how it got shut, how it got happened. I don't know either, Mom. I was 10. And that is my dead rabbit story.
Well, that's obviously true. But that's not part of it.
I don't know, yeah. So,
I don't know about the rabbit.
2 stories in 1.
Who wants to go next?
Kyle, you want to go next, or you want me to go next?
I can go next. I don't care.
All right.
I just
Kyle's
want to
up.
preface this with this is 100% factual, true story.
Not sus.
That
Or
sounds-
is it?
That sounds sus.
So, just gonna start with this. Microsoft, one of the largest companies in the world, one of the biggest companies in the world, owns an adults-only game. A game rated adults only.
What, Microsoft?
Yes,
Okay.
Microsoft.
Okay.
As in Xbox.
Okay.
That Microsoft. They own an adults-only game.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's the whole thing.
Well, there's more to it. There's details, but I just... I thought I'd lead you into something. I don't know.
Okay.
I want you to take this journey with me.
Okay, so I mean that sounds like a one story, Kyle, really.
Oh.
Double dose.
Okay, Microsoft owns an adult only game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what adult only is?
Like kids can't play like porn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like there's mature, but then adults only is above that. It's,
Yeah. One is like what you go to war for. Another one is like
Yeah.
what you go to your bedroom for. You know?
Yeah, basically.
Gotcha.
Basically. So this was back in like 2007. Microsoft was really trying to push the garbage ass operating system, Windows Vista. So one of the biggest games that they owned at the time was Halo 2. So we're like, hey, let's port this over to PC, which came out the same year that Halo 3 did on Xbox.
This sucks because I don't know anything about this stuff.
Yeah. But it was basically the exact same game. Except there were some extra tools added so people could like make maps and stuff. And porn! They put porn in Halo 2. The game about shooting aliens had porn in it.
Kyle. That you are gaslighting.
No.
Yes,
And
you
it
are.
wasn't Rule 34. It was porn.
No, it was not. You're lying. There was not porn in Halo.
Okay, now let me explain. So, the map editing tool is what it was in. That's why it wasn't in the original Xbox release of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they bundled in like a map editing tool for Halo 2 when it moved over to PC. And there is like this error code, .ass, so .ass error. And it's like when your 3D files didn't move over correctly,
Yeah.
and whenever you got that error to pop up, it would be someone mooning the camera. That's it.
Let's go.
But, hold on.
And this was in 2007?
Yes. But, really funny story about this. It potentially cost Microsoft $500,000 to fix it because all the versions that were... The game got delayed for PC. It's supposed to come out like May 8th, and then it got moved to May 22nd. But the first initial wave that was sent to stores, they had to be relabeled to adults only. And all the ones that were made later had to be edited to get the ass out of it so it could be mature. But the person who was mooning the camera was Bungie's lead engineer.
Let's go.
And he is mooning Microsoft's CEO at the time.
So why would that even happen? Like what got them there?
Shits and
Do you
giggles.
know?
The error is .ass, and they had a picture of him mooning the CEO of Microsoft, so they're like, it'd be really funny and no one would know. Ass! Just
In
on the screen.
2007.
In 2007.
Gamers have always been wildin'.
I don't know, Kyle.
It was a different time in the gaming industry. We didn't know about Activision
So
Blizzard being
okay, so
Activision
this was
Blizzard.
linked. I don't know anything about this stuff at all. So this was like on the Halo 2 release, or was Halo 2 an adult game? I got confused. I got very confused.
The original release of the game was like 2003, and that was mature. Like that. I don't think that was in there.
The first Halo. Is that what you're saying?
Halo 2. The original release of Halo 2.
Original release of Halo 2 was mature.
Yes.
And then they were going to re-release it as an adult game? Is that what you're saying?
No. So, they ported it over to Windows Vista because Microsoft was pushing gaming on Vista. So they made a port for it. And they included a map editor so you can make your own maps for like multiplayer and stuff like that.
Lit.
And as a joke, they put the lead engineer's ass, him mooning the Microsoft CEO, in as an image pop-up whenever you got the .ass error.
Yeah. And so in that Windows-only version, they had to make it adults only because of that. That happened to occur a couple times.
So they had to do that so they didn't get sued more, pretty much, is what you're saying?
Yeah, so they didn't get sued.
Because they got... Didn't you say they got sued, though, for
almost.
$500,000? So
they lost $500,000 because they had to relabel all those copies, and they had to go back,
so
reprint.
they dumped more money into it for doing reprints?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, like, they didn't get sued?
No, almost. Like, they announced the game was delayed for PC, and then, like, a little bit later, they're like, hey, there was partial nudity in it. The first wave of copies will have it in there, but if you don't get the initial release, it'll be rated M instead of adult.
Okay.
Because they took it out.
Fun gaming history fact for you.
Yeah.
Or fiction.
A little bit gaming.
I feel like it could be true
Weeby
because of the details, but I also feel like you could have changed like 2 things and it made it a lie.
Did you get a stickler there?
But I don't know. I don't know yet. I still believe Jerry 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Have a squishy ball.
Jerry's is real.
Dead rabbit.
It feels real. If not, it was a squirrel.
The dog was real, okay?
Regardless, something was dead in the sandbox.
Bob would never die.
Bob could die.
That's real life lore, by the way, of a pet squirrel named Bob.
He's not actually our pet.
He
He's
is.
just in our yard.
Nope.
Yeah, he just loiters.
Okay.
Next video.
Do you have any more questions?
I don't know. I believe that some weird shit like that would happen
Well,
because
the
the
ass and
industry
stuff,
is
that
weird.
was at Bungie. That wasn't at
That
Microsoft.
wasn't Microsoft?
Like,
Screw
Microsoft,
it.
like, was the publisher. Bungie made the game, and they put it in there.
So Bungie almost cost Microsoft money?
Yes, that's what it was.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably
Microsoft
true.
didn't do it. They just had to fix it.
They just had to clean
They had
up
to
someone
deal with
else's
it.
mess. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay. That could be true then.
Alright, it's my turn. So, these two fine gentlemen didn't have to look at notes, but because I found this really great story on Reddit, I'm going to refer to it on my phone, just so I make sure I get all the details right, because they are important to the story. So, hi, I'm Alexa, and I had a strange experience when I was 6. The thing is, well, I saw a man with no face. He was weird and looked like he took something, but I'm not going to get into that. It's personal, but I will tell you the story anyway. When I was 6, I was out late at night in my backyard because that's where I like to play and where I could only go. So I was playing with my toys, and I stopped and saw a man out of the corner of my eye. He had a mask on, and I assumed that he was just planning his Halloween costume because it was just around the corner. So I brushed it off. But that's when I started playing again. But I saw the man come up to our fence to our yard. Now we have a big neighborhood, so there were 2-3 neighbors around me and my mother. My dad left when I was younger. So I backed away and he said, "Hey kiddo, it's okay, I'm not bad at all." I started to walk closer. Hey, listen, I was a kid and I was stupid. I should have known better. Anyways, I asked him, "Sir, why do you have that mask on?" He was quiet for a second and he said, "If you really want to know, kid." He took off his mask and reveals his no face.
Excuse me?
I screamed and ran inside. I even think I heard him mutter, "That's why you never trust strangers, kiddo." I told my mom and she didn't believe me. So one night we were out walking to 7-Eleven because my dad took the car when he left, so we had no car. I thought I saw the man.
That's
The creepy thing is that he was bald, so I didn't trust him anymore.
Wait
That's
a
the key.
minute. So
That's the key.
she
being
didn't
bald.
trust him because he went bald.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the story, because he's wearing a mask and all that, doesn't really have a face. I think it's about Clay dream of Minecraft.
Yes.
So it's real.
Yeah, it's about Dream.
It's
Is
about-
he wearing a lime green hoodie? Does he
It
do
doesn't
boat
say.
hacks?
It
Alexa
doesn't say.
didn't
Okay.
say.
Anyways, after we discovered that Alexa no longer trusted this man because he was bald, she then goes on to tell us, I stopped my mom and told her that that was the man I had saw that night. She took a look and said to me in a whisper, he looks normal. Then once he walked into the street sidewalk light and stopped, she was so surprised and grabbed me and started running. I asked what the heck is going on, and she said that she saw him on the news and he was wanted for committing at least 10 murders. He went to a couple countries to do them. She said that he had led me to him so that I could be the next person on his list.
Spooky.
And that's the end of the story.
But was there any like description from the mom saying that he didn't have a face? Like, did she say anything about what the mom said about him?
If
Or was it just like the child's perspective and he was bald, so he looked like he didn't have a face?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could assume that it was left pretty open
Up
to
to interpretation.
interpretation. I mean, there was no.
Maybe
Well, I
she's
mean-
just face blind.
I mean,
There's not many comments on the thread.
Maybe
So.
she's just.
I mean,
That is a thing.
obviously, he had a face. Maybe he had like less features.
Well, like you're 6 years old and your most people's imagination are like running rampant, so you could remember something very specific like that and just hold on to that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I could see my mom lying to me and saying someone would murder me so I don't talk to strangers.
Very valid. That.
So it may not.
further
It may
validates
be, it
the
may
story.
be true
True, yeah.
to
Yeah.
her, but like then there was never somebody that murdered anyone, so then that wouldn't be real.
I mean,
But to her it was.
this is the question. In fact, did the man have no face? We don't know. I mean, probably not. That's probably false. But regardless, this story, you know, is just like any other story like you remember from your kid. Like, you know, my story with the ghost, like the shadow that I saw.
Yeah,
It's just like that.
it's not just like that though, because there's details of him
Candleside.
murdering people. So if he actually murdered somebody, like if there's a man that murdered people in several different countries,
Yeah.
then that has to be either true or fake. So that man, whether he had a face or not, because that's just what she saw, like he may or may not have murdered someone. So that's the actual question. Like, is that real?
Regardless, the validation of this story,
That is a true
my
story.
only validation for this story on whether it's real or not comes from what subreddit I took it from.
So, who is capping?
Okay,
Who capped?
I want to talk
not
about it a
capping?
little
We
bit
didn't have
more.
a cap, but.
That's true.
Sorry.
I think you're telling the truth.
Okay.
I do.
Bold of you to believe that.
I think you're telling the truth.
Okay.
If you're not, then it was a different animal
Yeah.
or not a sandbox.
Valid.
But either way, something like that has happened to
Yeah.
you
Valid.
because you're Jerry.
It's true.
That one, your story, Kyle. Your
It's
story
wild.
is
It's goofy.
it's goofy. I
That's me.
remember you talking about something around those lines before, but I tone you out so much, Kyle. I should probably listen more.
No, you really shouldn't.
Okay. Valid.
I'm gonna be real.
I remember you saying something about, maybe it wasn't that. I don't know. I've heard you talk about a scenario before. I've also watched a video of something like that, I think, but I don't know if it was that. Okay. I do think that your story,
He's kind of like a David DeVito.
even if it is true, it's not true.
He's a Satan.
So I'm gonna go with it to be the fake one
That's fair.
because regardless, it's not true. Like even if Reddit says it's true, it's fake.
We're just adding layers of gaslighting.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true.
Right, like it is another
It's a
layer
bean
in the
dip.
Shrek onion. Okay.
Gasception.
Yes.
That's the after dark
Okay,
podcast.
regardless, yes, I did pull this story from r/fake stories.
On the nose.
Could be true though.
But talking about the validation, as far as this goes, if it's on r/true stories,
Yes.
I'm going to count it as true.
So I got it right this time. Josh was gaslighting me, indeed. Reddit fake stories. Microsoft or Halo 2 had ass. That was real.
It did.
Poor Jerry carried the dead rabbit to his mama, and she just probably threw it in the garbage.
Yeah, probably. Nah, well, she like buried it or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did say she buried it. Maybe. Did you watch her bury it? No. Alright,
was a
so
rough
it's
time.
Jerry's bedtime, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. This has been Candleside Gaslighting. I'm your host, Shakota Woolsey. This is Josh, Kyle, Jerry, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. We will be putting out other content. We're gonna be adding a lot more to our YouTube channel coming up. We're going to be having a new series called Toy Tournaments. Our first little series on toy tournaments will be Hex Bugs. So if you have any interest in that, it's gonna be pretty fun. Go ahead, and we will have a Patreon set up.
We're working on setting up our Discord and getting that joined up to Patreon. Once that's fully fleshed out, we'll highly suggest you to join our Patreon. But if you want to go ahead and check it out, feel free. We're gonna start putting stuff up on there.
Yeah, most of the content on the Patreon will be there starting soon, so you can go ahead and subscribe. We're gonna try to get that Discord up. You'll get the full benefits once we get the Discord set up by levels. But other than that, everything else will be good to go. So honestly, maybe by the time we even get this out, it might be up.
And check out our other social media to see if the Patreon is good and connected.
Yeah,
to
you
Discord.
can find us Foresight Films on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then we also have a TikTok, which is Foresight Films. So you can follow us on any of that. I'll also link all of those in the description, so it shouldn't be hard for you to find. Go ahead and encourage all of your friends and family to listen. We would really appreciate the support. We kind of need it. We're starting out, but I think we're gonna have a good time doing this, and we really appreciate you if you are listening right now. But yeah, we will have even more content on the YouTube eventually. Like I said, we're just starting out, but we want to eventually become a short film company, maybe do a little vlogging, show production work and stuff on our Patreon. All the things. But yeah, I think that's all we have for today. So don't forget to blow out your candle. Jerry, do you want to do the honors?
Anything, anytime. Say goodnight.